friends. I'm Cassandra from Mobile Om Yoga, and I'm so grateful to have you joining me for this virtual yoga practice brought to you from the beautiful boardwalk on the San Pedro Creek Culture Park. This class is brought to you every week on Monday evening to help us move and breathe together in virtual community and take in some of this beautiful scenery here along San Pedro Creek. Thanks to our partners and our sponsors for this experience, the San Antonio River Authority. So thank you so much for tuning in from wherever you are. Let's go ahead and unroll our mats to get started. For today's practice, we're going to be keeping it really slow and really low and focus on relieving any tension we carry in our neck and our shoulders, and then we'll get a little bit into our lower back as well. So to get started, if you have a blanket or a towel, go ahead and bring it down. It's a nice cushion for us to arrive on. You'll bring your legs into a nice, comfortable, cross-legged pose. And we're going to begin today's practice just with our hands, our palms rooted down onto the thighs. Go ahead and close your eyes. And let's take a moment to arrive. So I know for many of us, the physical process of arriving, making that choice to be here, has already occurred. So now let's ground ourselves in the here, in the now, starting with our physical body. So feel yourself here, those sit bones nice and grounded into your mat or the cushion of your blanket. Begin to feel the lift of your heart, of the crown, as if you're growing from the roots up towards the sky. You can envision here in our energetic system, in our chakra system, our spine is like a flower, and the root is like our physical roots. It gives us the ability to ground ourselves. When we come into that which connects to the earth, it brings us into our physicality, our body, our stability. And then we work our way up as we stretch tall all the way to the crown of the head, which is symbolically like a 1,000-petal lotus, ready to open up and receive kind of the light of the sun, right? We get nourished. So take just another moment and imagine yourself like that firmly rooted yet lifted and open flower here. And then bring the palms of your hands to touch one another. And as you're sitting up tall, you can open your eyes for just a moment. I want you to now rub your hands together. So just as important as we root ourselves into the earth is that we remember the why, the intention that we journeyed to our mat today. So think about what it is that you showed up for, your motivation. And in yoga, we call that tapas, which means heat, like the heat you're creating here. Imagine it's like the spark that's gonna ignite the fire of this practice. And then begin to soften that motion of the hands, and then we'll interlace our fingers. This is just like a little weave, and then bring that warmth right across the chest. This mudra, our hand position, is called unshakable trust, so that we lean in to trust that part of ourselves. We root into why we showed up. Close your eyes here. And now with this nice tall posture and a full-hearted intention, let's begin to ground our awareness into the flow of the breath. Inhaling fully, completely, and lifting up into the warmth of your palms. Exhaling fully and completely. And as you empty, get re-grounded back into your sit bones, into the earth. Taking just a couple more of these full body breaths. Inhaling up, out, and open. Exhaling it out. One more breath in. And exhale it out. Inhale, open your eyes. Nice. Take an inhale, begin to bring your palms together. We're gonna interlace them and try to interlace them the opposite way now. So you're just switching all your fingers. And as you exhale, you're gonna press the palms in front of you and curl the heart back, tuck your chin. Now keeping your hands interlaced, begin to inhale, find the roots of your sit bones and begin to stretch, this time beyond the crown of your head. You're stretching all the way through those palms of your hands. And then exhale, release the hands all the way back. Interlace them behind your back this time. And you're gonna inhale, lift up through the chest. And as you exhale, hands stay on the low back, just fold your heart forward. Inhale, lift yourself back up. Release the hands, stretch them wide, and exhale, bring them back to your heart center. We'll do that one more time. Interlace your hands, take an inhale. As you exhale, press the palms away, tuck your chin round the back. Rooting through the sit bones, inhale, sit up nice and tall, reaching up through the palms of the hands. Exhale, release the hands out wide like rays of a sunshine. Bring the palms together, interlace behind the back. Inhale, puff the chest, lifting up through the heart. Exhale, leading with the heart, just bow down. Release your hands in front of you and allow them to help press yourself back upright. Go ahead and bring the hands behind you. Let's switch the crossing of your legs, bringing the opposite shin in front here. Inhale, bring all 10 fingers up to the sky, stretching high. As you exhale, go ahead and bring them back down. And I want you to bring fingertips to the ground like you're making a little teepee. Arms are at a diagonal. And then begin to let the right ear fall towards the right shoulder. So as you feel the stretch along the left side of your neck, the more you activate, pressing into the fingertips of the left hand, you're gonna feel that stretch intensify. And then let the back molars separate. Let your mouth open just a little bit. And maybe you find just some subtle movements of your chin as you kind of settle into the space that feels, right, the best stretch for you. And then the last step here to get a little deeper is that you can start to lean over towards the right side. And then maybe you even lift up, taking that left hand and you kind of sit on it right under your thigh. Adding weight to the left hand to intensify, you lean over to that right side. So you don't even really need that right hand there once you've sat on the hand. And once again, once you've found that sensation, try to soften your jaw and your face. Take just a couple more breaths here. Should feel really nice, especially if you tend to carry stress and tension in the neck. And then start to allow your chin to melt towards the chest. And at the same time, if you sat on your hand, you can release it out and just let the head get heavy into the center of your chest. Continue to feel your sit bones rooted here, and you're still sitting up nice and tall. So we're not letting the whole integrity of our spine go, just letting the head. And then begin to bring the head back into neutral. Left ear is going to fall towards your left shoulder. Starting with the right fingertips on the ground, really pushing them into the earth to intensify that sensation, the stretch you're feeling along that right side of your neck. Soften your jaw, soften your face. And then again, if you want to go deeper here, start to lean over to the left side. You can lift that right thigh and set down like you're sitting on that right palm. And then lean over to that to the left side. Once again, loosening your jaw, noticing and breathing into any sensation on that right side. And then begin to let the chin settle down in towards the chest. Slowly come off of that right hand. Nice. On your next inhale, Go ahead and lift your head back up into center. All right. From here, you're going to extend your left leg out and bring the right foot into the inside of the thigh. If you're using that blanket, you'll notice I'm kind of sitting on the edge of it. What that helps to do is to tilt our pelvis. So I kind of can move my sit bones back, kind of tilt the pelvis forward, help us into this forward fold. So we're going to start by inhaling, sitting up nice and tall from sit bones to crown to heart. And then as you exhale, begin to walk and fold over that left leg. In and out here. Your next inhale, begin to walk your hands up, coming upright. You're going to turn that right knee up towards the sky. And you're going to begin to bend the left knee in towards your right hip. So you're either sitting like me, where your right foot's on the inside of your knee, or you can take the foot across to the outside of your knee, but make sure you're able to really get rooted into both sit bones. So it might be easier to not take that extra cross. From here, your right hand's gonna serve as like a second root for your spine. So again, we're gonna get rooted from the sit bones, but also to the right hand, like a little guide here. Sit up tall, inhale. As you exhale, using your left hand, you're wringing your spine out. Take an inhale and wring it out. And then start to take your gaze and look forward, like you're looking over the left shoulder. And then bring your left ear toward your left shoulder. So you'll start to feel that stretch again on the right side of the neck. Keep pressing into the right hand for that length in the spine. Keep twisting. So lots going on here. And we're releasing that head. Softening the jaw. One more breath in and out here. And then begin to slowly unravel yourself back to center. Take that right foot, if it's crossed over, cross it back. This time, bring your left foot onto the ground next to your right. Hands are going to come back behind you. And we're going to press into reverse tabletop. So pressing through the hands and feet, hips lift, and you're stretching through the front of the chest and shoulders here. You can stay just like this, or maybe you draw a line across the sky or ceiling with your chin. Begin to open up the throat space. One more breath here. And as you exhale, go ahead and settle your hips back down to the ground. This time the right leg's gonna straighten and your left foot is gonna come to the inside of that right leg. Take an inhale, get nice and tall here. And as you exhale, begin to fold yourself over the right leg. Let your head get heavy. Long, deep breaths, whatever sensation coming through the back of that right leg. Just breathe into it. Try not to carry that tension up into the head, shoulders, jaw. On your next inhale, begin to come all the way upright. Let's go ahead and settle that left knee to the sky, either to the inside or the outside of that right knee as you bend that right heel towards your left hip. This time your left hand's gonna serve as that second spine or that second brace here. Inhale to get nice and tall. The right hand's coming around to that left knee and using it to guide yourself into a twist. So each inhale, you lift yourself nice and tall. Each exhale, wringing into a deeper twist. Keep this twisting sensation and then begin to turn your gaze towards that right shoulder, letting the right ear fall towards the right shoulder. So each inhale, as you press into the left fingertips and sit up tall, you're also feeling the stretch on the left side of the neck. Twisting it out. One more breath here. Begin to slowly lift your head and lift back in towards center. Let your legs both straighten out in front of you this time. And you're going to bring your hands behind you, facing away from you. So the fingertips face backwards. And then you're just gonna walk your hands back. See how far back you can get your hands onto your mat. Maybe they're coming off your mat like mine. And then whenever you get as far as you can go, pause. Kind of make sure you're not locking out your elbows. And then begin to lift up through the heart. So you're feeling a stretch across the collarbones and the front of the shoulders. And taking just a couple more breaths, trying to keep that heart space lifted. Once again, if you want to bring it into the throat and it feels okay and doesn't crunch the back of the neck, you can look up towards the sky. One more breath in and out here. Then you'll slowly begin to release. That kind of makes my elbows go numb. So kind of shake them out if it does the same thing to you. We're going to use this as an opportunity to move around and make our way onto the hands and knees. So coming into a tabletop pose, if you need some padding under the knees, a great place to have your blanket or your towel here. And we'll just bring some movement in and find our cow and cat pose. So cow, we inhale the belly down, lift the gaze, spread the collarbones. As you exhale, begin to round the chin to chest, tuck your tailbone under and press the back of your heart up towards the sky. So try to round the space between the shoulder blades. Inhale, belly drops back into cow gaze, lifts. Exhale into that cat pose, pressing the mat away with the knees and hands. Inhale, belly drop, gaze lifts. Exhale, tuck the chin and round. And pause in our next neutral spine. Beginning to root into the left hand. I want you to inhale and open that right arm to the sky. So feel the squeeze behind that right shoulder blade. Let's take one more inhale. Really open and stretch high through that right hand. On your exhale, we're threading the needle, bringing your right arm underneath, coming onto that right shoulder and the right side of your head. The left hand can stay where it is, helping to guide that left shoulder open. Reground, re-root into the tops of your feet and shins here. And you can lengthen the left arm forward. Using that engagement of your left palm, if you've lengthened it, to help you lengthen again all the way through that left side body. Twisting open as much as you can. Feeling your breath help to open the back of the right shoulder. You took the extension, go ahead and bend the right or the left hand back down. You're going to inhale, press into the left hand, reach that right arm back up to the sky. And then exhale, go ahead and bring the right hand down. Pressing into the right palm, inhale, lift up and open through the left side. Pause here. Squeeze that left shoulder, open up a little bit more. Exhale, thread left shoulder all the way down, coming to the ground on the left side of your head. So the right hand can stay here, helping to brace open a little deeper. Or maybe you extend that right arm long, helping to lengthen through the right side body. And breathing into the sensation, opening up the left shoulder away from the spine. Big, full, deep breaths into your container. Right here, right now, this is our practice. How do you want to show up? Let's go ahead and bring that right hand back to the ground. As you inhale, press up and open. You're going to reach that left arm all the way up to the sky. And then go ahead and settle the left hand down. We're going to make our way to our first downward facing dog. So walk your hands out forward, tuck your toes, and lift up and back. Walk out your legs here. First time to really bring our feet against the floor. We're not going to be standing much in this practice, so take this opportunity to give your legs a little bit of love. And then just to try on something a little different, begin to walk your hands back to meet your feet. So we're going to find ragdoll or dangle pose back at the back of your mat. Nice generous bend in the knees, allowing the belly to soften over the thighs, the head to get nice and heavy. You can shake it, yes. And you can kind of shake it, no. Roll the shoulders here. You're going to bring your hands, rub them back together just for a moment. Remember why you showed up today. And then interlace them together into that unshakable trust mudra. We're going to bring it back and around to the base of your skull, wrapping gently around the head, only if this feels good. You can release if it's too much. Just dragging a little more weight to help decompress the spine. Really feel the roots of your feet giving you that stability here as you press down into the earth. Each inhale, you're lifting the hips a little higher. Each exhale, you're melting a little more the upper body, crown of the head. Brain drain. One more breath in. And an exhale breath out. Release your hands from the back of the neck. Take an inhale and look forward. Begin to walk back into your downward facing dog. Shifting the hips up and back. Inhale, look forward. Begin to shift forward. Bring your shoulders over your wrists. As you exhale, drop your knees to the mat. Uncurl the toes. Inhale here. And as you exhale, slowly lower yourself, belly to the mat. You're going to lift up through the chest, slide the elbows forward, finding our Sphinx pose. So elbows are going to be stacked right underneath the shoulders. Rolling those shoulders back, feeling space in the collarbones here. Grounding in through the tops of the feet. So we're remembering not to just kind of sink into the low back. And then keeping the integrity of this nice open collarbone, open chest, open heart. Just let the chin come down towards the chest. Take a few breaths here. Really lifting the heart forward with each inhale. Settling in to each exhale. One more breath in and out here. And then we'll slowly begin to roll all the way down onto your belly. Bring your left ear to the mat. And take your hands by your side for a moment and just breathe in and out here. Come back into awareness of your container, of your breath, of your mind's focus, and draw yourself back into this practice. You're going to extend your left arm straight out onto the left side, onto the earth. Bring your right hand under your right shoulder, and you're going to begin to roll over onto your left side, just like you're rolling your whole body like a log. Let's bend the right knee. It's going to start to come up to the sky, and you're just settling your foot to the outside of that left leg. So we're using this to stretch the front of the chest, the front of that left shoulder. So you can use that left hand to keep pressing into the earth to open up. Or you can begin to lift it up and take it into a bind if you want to deepen it here. And close your eyes if you need. And just settle into your breath here, long, full, and deep. And notice what happens when you bump up against, uncomfortable sensation. Can you continue to feed the sense of calm or whatever your intention was? Just meeting yourself with some compassion, some self-love and appreciation for doing this practice, for doing the work. And again, to straighten that right leg and roll back onto your belly. Just bring that right arm out and kind of splat yourself down. Bring your right ear to the mat and take a few breaths here. We're going to bend the left hand now, bringing it under the shoulder. Right arm reaches straight out, starting to turn over onto the right side. Bending the left knee to the sky. Left foot comes to the outside of the right leg. You can keep that left hand rooted or reaching it around for a bind. And breathing and opening up the chest here. Each breath you arrive, recognize where your attention goes, our energy flows. So just bring your attention into a space you want to cultivate. One more breath in and out here. And slowly beginning to unravel all the way back onto the belly. And bring that right arm back in. Okay, we're just going to kind of turn over here onto the back. All the way over. And bringing your feet, soles of the feet onto the ground. Okay, hands are going to settle back down by the hips. Just a couple gentle bridge poses. So we're not really powering ourselves up, but let's pay attention to that sensation of grounding. First through the feet, so root through the feet as you press down. Begin to curl and lift your hips up all the way up. And pause here. And then take an inhale. Start to lift your arms up and overhead so the fingertips are reaching away from your feet. And then once again, pressing into the feet. Really feel the stretch, the front of the hips all the way up. As you exhale, start to curl the hips down, and let's bring the hands all the way back to meet the hips. Let's do that one more time, pressing through the feet. Inhale. First, just lifting up, curling up through the hips all the way to the sky. And then let's inhale, lift the arms up and open overhead. When you're there, pause. Maybe you kind of walk the shoulders like you're walking them down the back. Settle them in there. Take one more breath in. And then as you exhale, settle your hips down, bring your knees into your chest, hug around the knees with your arms, nose comes in, squeeze yourself tight into a little ball. And as you exhale, go ahead and release yourself down. We're going to release the legs out towards the bottom of your mat, finding your way into a comfortable space on your back. You can use your blanket as a pillow or kind of roll a space for your neck. And soften into a space of surrender. Close your eyes. And this time, let's start by bringing awareness into the breath. Instead of controlling your breath, just watch the breath move in and out through the nose. And as you focus on the breath, let the body just be here, be heavy. And you can almost feel as if the breath is extending beyond the physical boundaries of your body here. And bringing some open and lightness in. Long, full, deep breath. Continue to breathe here. And anytime your physical body may distract you with sensation, just label it. And come back to this constant fluid movement of your breath. A reminder that our natural state is not that of being stuck or stagnant, tense or tight, but that we're naturally expansive and we're naturally in motion, constantly able to shift out of any space, starting by just shifting the space of our breath. Can do wonders. A couple more breaths here. And then gently begin to wake up your toes and your ankles and your fingers and hands. And keeping your eyes closed, take an inhale and we'll stretch your arms overhead. So just gently starting to bring our awareness back into the physical body. And then start to draw your right knee up towards your chest, almost like you've fallen into a chair on that right knee. And keep stretching long. This is called our cat stretch. Inhale, as you exhale, just let the right knee fall to the left side just as much as it can as you keep stretching in opposite directions. As you inhale, come back into center, straightening the right leg to meet the left, and then bending your left knee up. Inhaling, stretching long, and as you exhale, let that left knee roll towards the right. Just as far as you can to keep stretching. And then coming all the way back in. Collect your knees with your arms and do a big embrace. Nose up towards your knees. Squeeze yourself tight. And then move the hands behind your knees and just begin to rock and roll front to back. You're going to rock yourself all the way back up into a seat, just how we began. Nice, comfortable cross-legged seat, finding those roots or those sit bones nice and grounded here. And bringing the palms in front of the heart. Once again, rubbing the hands together, close your eyes. Perhaps you come back to why you showed up, or maybe you think of some sort of spark that was enlightened in you today, a piece of wisdom you can carry with you through the rest of your week. Bringing your mind to whatever that intention may be. Soften the palms together, interweave the fingers, and let the warmth of your palms embrace your heart, your chest center. Take a couple big, full, deep breaths up into the warmth of your palms. Perhaps stating an I am statement to carry with you this openness, this mindfulness into the areas in our lives where this practice can really empower us. Not to do anything with our physical body, but perhaps to take pause before we react to in an angry way, or perhaps to open our hearts to be a little more compassionate to those around us. But we start with the space in ourselves and thanking yourself for this moment, for being here, for showing up. Weaving in that trust that you will carry this practice with you. And then allow the palms to touch one another, symbolically spreading the fingers out as if we're reaching out to this virtual community. Lift your thumbs to your third eye. And let's take a moment to just acknowledge those souls that are here with us, present from wherever they are, showing up to support, to motivate ourselves and each other. Thank you so much for joining me this beautiful Monday. May you all have a beautiful rest of your week. Namaste.